The internet didn't just react, it flinched. 1 second everything was quiet, the next second timelines were flooding, comments were panicking, and insiders were whispering the same terrifying sentence: this is about to go left. Not musically. Not emotionally. Deadly. Because when NBA Youngboy and Fredo Bang's names start circling each other again, history doesn't repeat, it reloads. What makes this moment different is the silence before the noise. No warning. No build-up. Just leaked clips, deleted posts, and cryptic messages that vanished faster than they appeared. Fans swear they heard something in Youngboy's voice on stage, a pause, a stare, a line delivered just a little too slow. Fredo's camp allegedly caught wind of it before the video even went viral. That's when phones started ringing. That's when tempers cracked. And now? Social media is a battlefield. Twitter is choosing sides. Old wounds are being reopened. Private conversations are being replayed in public. A piece everyone thought was real is being exposed as paper thin. Insiders are saying the word "squashed" was never mutual, it was temporary. And temporary peace is the most dangerous kind. Because when disrespect goes viral, pride doesn't heal quietly. It retaliates loudly. And if even half of what's being whispered behind the scenes is true, this beef isn't just coming back, it's mutating into something far more serious. Stay locked in. Because once this story fully breaks, there's no rewinding it. The first crack didn't come from a diss track or a headline. It came from a whisper that moved faster than facts. Someone close to the situation allegedly said the phone call everyone celebrated last year didn't end in peace, it ended in tension. Smiles for the public. Silence behind the scenes. And when silence stretches too long between two men with this much history, it doesn't mean calm. It means pressure building. According to multiple so-called insiders, the moment things shifted was on the road. Youngboy's tour wasn't just selling out venues, it was rewriting the narrative. Night after night, fans noticed the same thing: certain lyrics dragged out, certain pauses held just long enough to sting, certain lines aimed so precisely they couldn't be coincidence. Clips hit Twitter within minutes. Fans dissected every second like it was evidence. That one was for Fredo. Nah, that pause was intentional. Why he smiling when he said that? What fans didn't see was what allegedly happened backstage. One source claims a member of Youngboy's camp replayed a viral clip on loop, laughing, while another warned, "This gonna reach Baton Rouge by morning." And it did. Fredo reportedly saw the clip before it crossed 1 million views. Before blogs picked it up. Before the captions turned disrespect into entertainment. That's when the temperature changed. From that moment on, everything felt personal again. Old memories resurfaced. Old betrayals replayed in real time. People started talking about loyalty, who stayed quiet, who didn't, who benefited when certain names stopped being mentioned. Screenshots allegedly leaked from a private group chat showing arguments over who really squashed it and who's still moving funny. No verification. No denial. Just enough realism to make people believe it. Then came the fan behavior, the most dangerous ingredient. Youngboy supporters didn't just argue online. They started pulling up in real life. Cameras out. Music blasting. Smiles wide. Treating a decade of bloodshed like a prank. One viral clip showed Fredo standing his ground, calm on the surface, but anyone watching closely could see the restraint. That wasn't peace. That was control. And control has a breaking point. Behind the scenes, industry people allegedly started distancing themselves. A feature quietly removed. A studio session was cancelled for scheduling reasons. A producer unfollowing both artists at the same time. These moves don't happen randomly. They happen when people sense instability. When they don't want to be collateral. And while fans argued over who was winning, Fredo was allegedly recording. Not rushed. Not emotional. Calculated. Someone from his camp supposedly said he felt played. And he doesn't forgive that twice. When the response finally dropped, it wasn't loud, it was surgical. Lines that hit nerves fans didn't even know were exposed. References that made people pause and say, "Nah, he went there." The internet exploded again, but this time it felt different. Less joking. More shock. Comments shifted from laughing emojis to warning signs. This ain't good. This is going too far. Why does this feel familiar? Because it was familiar. Too familiar. And according to a final alleged leak, a message was sent that night, short, direct, and chilling in its simplicity. No threats. No insults. Just a sentence that made people who saw it say the same thing, "Yeah, this ain't over." And that's where everything stops feeling like music. After that message surfaced, the energy shifted from loud to paranoid. Not public paranoia, private. The kind that makes people check who's in the room before they talk. According to someone who claims they were present, Fredo didn't celebrate the reaction to his response. No smiles. No reposts. Just a long silence and one sentence that stuck with everyone there: "They think this is for the internet." It's not. That wasn't a threat, it was a warning about how deep the misunderstanding had gone. Meanwhile, Youngboy's side allegedly felt blindsided. Insiders say he believed the tour moments were being taken out of context, exaggerated by fans hungry for chaos. But once Fredo's words landed the way they did, that explanation stopped mattering. Perception became reality. And reality started moving fast. One source claims Youngboy listened to the response alone, no entourage, no commentary, just headphones and silence. When it ended, he didn't say much. Just asked for the track again. That's when people around him knew this wasn't being brushed off. Social media didn't help, it poured gasoline. Twitter timelines turned into courtrooms. Every lyric was treated like evidence. Every old interview resurfaced. Clips from years ago went viral with new captions, reframing old jokes as hidden disses. Fans started connecting dots that may or may not exist, but once the narrative took shape, it didn't matter. The story was writing itself in real time. Then came the alleged leaks. A voice note circulated briefly before disappearing, grainy, distorted, but convincing enough to cause panic. Two voices arguing about respect, about who crossed first, about why this keeps happening. No names mentioned. No confirmation. But everyone assumed. Blogs hesitated to post it. Fans didn't. And once it hit group chats, it was over. The comment sections went from hype to fear. Industry reactions grew louder without saying anything directly. A well-known artist tweeted, "Some beefs don't need a sequel," then locked their account. A Baton Rouge figure posted a black screen with the words "choose peace" and deleted it within an hour. People noticed patterns. They always do. And behind the scenes, calls were allegedly being made, not to escalate, but to contain. That's when you know it's serious. What really sent chills through both camps was the realization that fans were no longer spectators. They were participants. People tagging locations. Showing up where they shouldn't. Turning real-life spaces into content farms. According to someone close to Fredo, that scared him more than the music. Fans don't know the rules, he allegedly said. They think it's a joke until it's not. Youngboy's fan base, massive and relentless, became an uncontrollable force. Every post Fredo made, even unrelated, was flooded. Every silence was interpreted as weakness or plotting. And when silence meets speculation, it creates pressure that even artists can't escape. One insider claims Youngboy was warned, "If you don't address it, they'll say you're ducking." Another warned the opposite, "If you do, it'll get ugly." That's the trap. Speak and escalate. Stay quiet and let the narrative eat you alive. By this point, both sides were reportedly being advised to slow down. To remember what the last chapter cost. To think about families, careers, freedom. But ego doesn't respond to logic, it responds to exposure. And both men felt exposed in different ways. One publicly. According to a final insider note that night, someone close to the situation said, "This feels like the calm before a decision. Not an outburst. Not a crash. A decision. And once that decision gets made, there's no undo button." By the time the third wave hit, nobody was pretending anymore. Whatever this was, it had crossed the point of confusion and entered the territory of inevitability. According to someone close to the Baton Rouge scene, the word being whispered wasn't beef anymore, it was a collision. Two paths that were never supposed to cross again, drifting back toward the same intersection with no traffic lights, no brakes, and way too many eyes watching. The most unsettling part wasn't what was being said publicly. It was what stopped being said altogether. Youngboy's silence stretched longer than usual. No posts. No cryptic captions. No explanations. Fans tried to spin it as confidence, but insiders described it differently. They said it was focus. The kind that shuts everything else out. Meanwhile, Fredo's movements reportedly changed. Fewer appearances. Tighter circles. Someone allegedly close to him said, "He's calm, but it's that calm you get right before you stop trying to explain yourself." Then came the so-called confirmation moment. Not official. Not announced. Just a small thing that set everything off. A follow from an account no one expected. An unfollow that spoke louder than a diss. Fans noticed within minutes. Screenshots spread. Theories multiplied. Some said it meant unity. Others said it meant lines were being drawn quietly. And when someone leaked a DM claiming, "This was supposed to be dead, now it's personal again," the mood online shifted from hype to dread. Behind the scenes, the industry allegedly went into damage control mode. Managers talking to managers. Labels advising silence. People reminding both sides that history doesn't forget, and the consequences don't reset just because time passed. But there's a brutal truth nobody likes to say out loud: when a story like this reaches this stage, outside voices don't matter much. Pride becomes louder than advice. Memory becomes selective. And every move feels like it has to mean something. What really rattled people was a report that both camps heard the same warning from two different directions: "Don't let this spill past the music again." That kind of warning doesn't come from fans. It comes from people who've seen how these stories end. People who remember what Baton Rouge has already buried. And yet, even with that warning hanging in the air, the tension didn't ease. It thickened. Fans started saying the quiet part out loud. "This doesn't feel like before. Why does this feel heavier? Why is everybody acting like they are waiting on something?" Because they were. The sense of anticipation wasn't tied to a song drop or a response. It was tied to a move. Any move. And when anticipation reaches that level, even the smallest action can detonate the whole situation. According to one final alleged insider note, someone close to both sides said, "The scary part isn't anger. It's resolved. Anger fades. Resolve doesn't. Resolve convinces you that whatever happens next is justified. Necessary. Final. Right now, the internet is loud, but the real story is unfolding quietly. Phones ringing in private. Decisions being weighed. People remembering things they thought they'd buried. And the most dangerous part of all? Everyone involved believes they're reacting, not escalating. And that's how it always starts. Because once a situation reaches this point, it doesn't end with clarification. It ends with consequences. And whether this chapter closes peacefully or violently depends on a choice that hasn't been made yet, or maybe already has. And when that choice surfaces, it won't feel like breaking news. It'll feel like confirmation. If you made it this far, understand something: you're already part of this story now. Because this isn't the kind of situation you casually scroll past and forget. This is the kind of moment people look back on and say, "That was the turning point." And missing the next update? That's how you end up confused when everyone else already knows what really happened. Right now, information is moving faster than headlines. Clips are being deleted. Posts are being rewritten. Narratives are being controlled in real time. And the only way to stay ahead of the smoke is to stay locked in before it breaks wide open. If you're not subscribed, you're relying on second-hand versions, watered-down takes, and people who weren't paying attention when it mattered. Hit that like button, not just for the algorithm, but to let it be known you see what's happening beneath the surface. Drop a comment, because silence lets other people decide the narrative for you. And turn on notifications, because when the next piece falls into place, it's not going to come with a warning label. This story isn't slowing down. It's tightening. And once it snaps, there's no rewinding timelines or deleting screenshots. So stay right here. Stay tapped in. Because the next update won't just explain what's going on, it'll expose what everyone else missed. And trust me, you don't want to be the last one finding out.